95% of traders lose money? That's not a stat I made up. That's the industry average documented across over hundreds of thousands of accounts from several brokers. And for the first few years of my career, I was in that 95% too. I had the charts, I had the setups, I had read every single book. I was doing everything right, and I was still bleeding money every single month. So today, I want to talk about the real reason most traders fail. Not the version you read on social media posts, the actual thing. Because after 15 years in the market, I've watched the same pattern destroy accounts over and over again, and it has almost nothing to do with your strategy. When traders fail, they almost always blame the wrong thing. They say, I need a better strategy. So they buy a new course, they switch from price action to order flow, they find a new mentor, they start following a new signal provider. And then they blow up the next account. Because the strategy was never the problem. Here's what I've seen consistently, and I'm talking about watching hundreds of traders over 1 decade. The failure point is almost always psychological. It's the decision making under pressure. It's what happens in your head between the moment you see a setup and the moment you click the button. The market doesn't care about your analysis, it cares about your behavior. Let me give you the 3 patterns I see most often. And I'm going to be honest, I've personally fallen into all 3 of these. Pattern number 1, revenge trading. You take a loss, a real one, maybe 1 to 2% of your account. Good, you played by the rules. Rational mind says, fine, that's within the rules. But something else kicks in. You need to make it back. So you take a trade you shouldn't take, at a size you shouldn't trade. And now 2% loss is suddenly 6% loss. I did this 2009 after one particularly bad week. I tripled my position size on a Friday afternoon trying to recover the week. You can imagine how that went. Pattern number 2. Perfectionism paralyzes. This one is less obvious. These traders have a solid edge, solid rules, and they second guess every single entry. They wait for the perfect setup. Meanwhile, the trade moves 40 pips without them. So they chase it and they enter at the worst possible spot. Perfectionism in trading is just fear wearing a disguise. Pattern number 3. Inconsistency under a winning system. This is the one that frustrates me most to watch. A trader has a system with a genuine edge, positive expectancy, backtested, proven, and they follow it perfectly for 3 weeks. Then they have 2 losing days in a row and they start adjusting. They skip the next valid signal, then they take a trade that's not in the rules because it feels right. They just turned a winning system into a losing one. Not because the system changed, because they couldn't sit with discomfort. So what changed for me? What was the actual shift? I stopped trying to be right and I started trying to be consistent. Those sound maybe similar, but they are completely different goals. When you're trying to be right, every loss is a failure. Every missed trade is a mistake. Every drawdown is evidence that you don't know what you're doing. When you're trying to be consistent, a loss is just data. A missed trade is irrelevant. There will be another one. A drawdown is expected and planned for. The mindset shift sounds simple. The execution isn't. It took me years of journaling, of reviewing my decisions, not my outcomes, my decisions, to actually write this in. But the moment it clicked, my equity curve changed. Not because my strategy got better, because I stopped getting in my own way. If you've been in that cycle, good strategy, inconsistent results, this is the work. It's not sexy, but it's the work. I share a lot more of this inside my free community, Max Edge Society. It's where I post my daily setups, my market analysis, and where we have real conversations about what's actually happening between your ears when you're trading. Link is below, it's free, no catch. If this video was useful, hit subscribe. I post every week, and I'll see you in the next one.